If you swear at home, stop immediately before it's too late. In the 1960s, in a small decrepit house deep in the countryside of Minas Gerais, there lived a woman who was known for her sharp tongue. She cursed relentlessly, unleashing a storm of vile words daily on her husband and son. She complained about everything: the food, the weather, the people around her, as if nothing in the world could ever satisfy her. But then strange things began to happen. One morning, the family awoke to find the floors covered in dirt and grime, even though they had cleaned meticulously the night before. A foul, damp odor hung heavy in the air, as if something rotten was lurking just beneath the surface. No matter how hard they scrubbed or how often they cleaned, the filth would return, darker and more pungent each time. At night, the terror escalated. They would hear objects shattering in empty rooms, the sound of furniture scraping across the floors, and eerie, rhythmic knocks at the door. Yet, whenever they opened it, no one was there. Shadows moved in the corners of their eyes, and cold whispers echoed through the walls, calling the woman's name in tones that sent shivers down their spines. Desperate, they sought help from the village priest. The moment he entered the house, his face grew pale, his eyes wide with dread. "This place is cursed," he whispered. "An unclean spirit dwells here, feeding on your anger and hatred. You must leave immediately before it consumes you." Terrified, the family began packing that very day. They found a modest house in a nearby village and quickly moved in. But their nightmare had only begun. On their first night in the new home, as the husband and son unloaded their belongings, the woman began arranging the furniture. Suddenly, the air turned icy cold, and the lights flickered. When she turned around, she saw him, an emaciated old man, dressed in a tattered black cloak, his eyes hollow and glowing faintly red. "Who are you?" she stammered, her voice trembling. "What do you want?" The figure tilted his head back and let out a deep guttural laugh that shook the walls. "I am Lazarento," he said, his voice a grotesque blend of growls and whispers. "You've summoned me every day with your curses, and now I am bound to you. Wherever you go, I will follow. You cannot escape me. I will be with you until the last breath leaves your body." The woman collapsed, her mind overwhelmed by terror. When she regained consciousness, she begged her husband to move again. They left the house that very night, but Lazarento followed them. No matter where they went, he was there, standing in the shadows, whispering in the dark, sometimes appearing at the foot of her bed, his skeletal fingers reaching for her. The family moved 2 more times, but it made no difference. The woman grew frail and paranoid, her hair turning white in mere weeks. She would wake up screaming, her body covered in bruises that appeared without explanation. Finally, her body gave out. On the day of her death, her husband and son heard a faint laugh echoing through the house as the final breath left her body. Then, as if a dark cloud had lifted, the haunting ceased. The house fell silent. For the first time in years, the air felt clean, and the family's lives returned to normal. But the villagers still tell the story of the cursed woman and her tormentor, Lazarento, a name that no one dares to speak aloud, lest they summon him into their own lives. And now I ask you, do you still swear so carelessly at home?